Gururvakyam mokshamulam guru kripa. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, and yesterday we were discussing on sacrifice yajna, the 9th sloka. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. The world is bound by actions other than those performed for the sake of sacrifice. Do thou therefore, O son of Kunti Arjuna, perform actions for that sake, for sacrifice alone, free from attachment. Yesterday we were discussing on yajna, how the yajna is understood as the sacrificial fire, that is the fire, the mediocre between the subtler beings in subtler realms and the grosser beings in the grosser world, earthly beings. Now, Lord Krishna says, Sahajagyaha prajaha srishtva purovacha prajapati anena prasaviswadvam esa vastu ishtakamadhuk. The Creator, having in the beginning of creation created mankind together with sacrifice. When the creation starts, at that time, the Creator created also the mediocre, because in the creation not only the grosser beings are created, all the creatures, they are subtler beings, grosser beings, and different kinds of beings. And they say 84 lakhs of different species of beings. So, when the creation starts, the Creator starts creating, He has the mind to create something by which all the beings will be able to lead a successful and progressive life. So He created the yajna in the very beginning and said, by this sacrifice shall ye propagate, you grow. You means both the subtler beings and the grosser beings. You have to grow, you have to propagate. Let this be the milk cow of your desires. Milk cow, the cow which fulfills all your desires. Generally, we worship the cows because cow is such an innocent animal. She does no harm to anyone, and yet every part of it is helpful for the human beings. The milk, the cow dung, whatever it gives us, that helps us in our life. By the cow dung we can have good crops, and we get milk. Milk is the best food among all the foods because it has got all the necessary ingredients which is required for a human being. Not only human being, all the animals and everyone. So milk contains everything, and the moment the child is born, it has to drink the milk. So the Creator created Yajna with the other beings, and he desired, let this Yajna be your mediocre, and by help of this, you may grow in your life's journey and be prosperous and fulfill all your desires. So when you say you should not have desires, why then the Creator had this idea to fulfill all your desires? Desires means we have seen desires are of two kinds. Some desires grow and they become cause for your bondage in this world, and some other desires, they are admirable. They end all the desires. Desires, they end all other desires. And thereby, having those desires fulfilled, you can attain the highest. You can get rid of desires, because in the life nobody can remain without acting even for a moment. Actions you are bound to do. And when you do the actions, naturally you have to wage. One is with a desire to get the results of it, and other is without the desire to get the results of it. So out of these two paths, one can choose according to his choice as he likes. So the actions you are bound to do, so you should do actions without desires, means with the desires which can end all other desires. That is the meaning. And thereby you can get out of this cycle of birth and death, and you can attain the highest. Sahajagya praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavisyadvam esaha astu ishtakamaduk. So in this way, the Creator started the creation. Prajapati Sahajagya Prajasritva Purovacha Prajapati. Prajapati is the Creator. Or Brahma, Kamdhenu is another name for the cow, Kamdhenu. Kamadhuk, Kamadhenu. That means the cow of Indra, which everyone can milk whatever one desires. A kind of cow which fulfills all your desires. Just as Kalpataru, the will-fulfilling tree, Kalpalata, will-fulfilling creeper, and similarly Kamadhenu, will-fulfilling cow. And also there is another jewel called Chintamani. Whatever you think, it fulfills your desires. So in this way, the Creator starts the creation. Now, why we are discussing all this? All these are based on actions only. How to perform actions. To know the skill, how to perform actions so that we can remain without actions. That is the trick we shall learn from this. Then Lord Krishna says, Devana bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha sreyaha paramavapsatha. Prajapati, the Creator, said to all the creatures, let this yajna be your mediocre. Through this, all the subtler beings and the grosser beings, you can communicate with each other and do your transactions so that by cooperative methods, you can grow on. And he said again, the Creator, with this do ye nourish the gods, he said to the human beings. By this yajna, devana bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha. You nourish the gods and gods will nourish you in return. And thus, nourishing one another, you will attain to the highest good. That is, you can lead a happy and successful life. Deva literally means the shining beings, shining ones. By this sacrifice, you nourish the gods such as Indra. Indra is said to be the king of all the gods because the water, which is the root of our life, is in his hands. He is the controller, distributor, and everything of water. So he is said to be the king of all the gods. The subtler beings, luminous beings, or we can say, the subtler controlling powers personified in subtler forms to control the whole creation, to control the power of the nature and keep up harmony in the creation. These are called gods, and Indra is said to be the king of gods. The gods shall nourish you with rain, etc. The highest good is attained by the help of knowledge of the self, which frees one from the round of births and deaths. The highest good may mean the attainment of the heaven also. The fruit depends upon the motive of the aspirant. Aspirant, the conductor of the sacrifices. If you conduct any sacrifice with the desire to get the results of the sacrifice, then you will get it, and you will be able to enjoy some happiness in the subtler realms. And if you don't, even after doing the sacrifice, if you don't want the result of the sacrifice, then you get knowledge of the self. You know, when you need something, you get it. Where there is a demand, there is a supply. The supply is directly proportional to the intensity and sincerity of the demand. If you need something, your need will be fulfilled. But how intensely you need it, how much it is necessary for you, that counts. Of course, all the needs are fulfilled, but in the course of time. So in this way, if you conduct the sacrifice, you are bound to get the result. And one who doesn't require anything, he gets everything. That is what we discussed yesterday also. Just for example, we can see, for example, when you go to some great person, say a beggar goes to the king. He has some needs. If he asks the king for something, of course, the kind king will give it, because he is a beggar. The kind kings, they give whatever the beggars ask. But if the beggar doesn't ask anything, and he stands before the king with love and affection and respect and praise, naturally the king gets pleased, because see this fellow, he is not asking anything, though I am able to give everything. So what happens? Naturally the king becomes gracious, and whatever is the need of the beggar, he supplies with it. If some person comes to you, everybody can feel it, and it happens in the life. Everybody feels it. If somebody comes and asks something from you again and again, you feel disgusted. What is this fellow coming and asking every day? And if somebody comes without any expectation to you, that shows his love for you. No expectation means love. then you become His. Your personality becomes completely His personality. Naturally, whatever He needs, you give it without asking. And we saw the sayings of Kabir Das, the great saint. बिना मांगे सो दूध बराबर, मांग लिया सो पानी, छीन लिया सो खून बराबर, कहत कबीर वाणी. If you don't ask anything and get something, that is just like milk. And if you ask something and get it, that is equal to water. Of course, it will appease your thirst. And if you snatch away something from others, that is just like drinking blood. So, if you conduct the sacrifice and don't expect for anything, then the highest you get. The purification of mind and your actions become inaction, and it becomes the worship of the highest Lord, and you attain this self-knowledge. This is how the sacrifices should be done. Now again he explains, Ishtan bhogan hi devo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha. Ishtan bhogani vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha. Tair datta na pradayebhyo jo bhungte stena evasaha. Now he gives you the rules and regulations of the sacrifice. Of course, sacrifice becomes the mediocre, the bridge among the between the subtler beings and the grosser beings, and hereby, when you cooperate with the gods, and what happens? They of course give something in return. And again, if you don't give something from that to God, then God will be not pleased. So your connectivity is broken. That means whatever you get from the higher beings by the satisfaction got from the sacrifice, you have to go on giving always, so that connectivity will be continued. And if you don't give a portion of it to the gods, then you are said to be a hypocrite or a thief, because you have not given the share of the subtler beings. You have enjoyed their portions. The gods, nourished by the sacrifice, will give you the desired objects. So, he who enjoys the objects given by the gods without offering to them is verily a thief. On this, everywhere in the scriptures it is said, whatever you have, you should share with others. Whatever you have, it doesn't belong to you. You have got it from the nature. And if you don't share it with others, then you are taken as a thief because you have not given others rights to them. Isavasya idagam sarvam yat kinchet jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita na gridha kasvasvedi dhanam. The whole world is only pervaded with the absolute existence, Satchidanand, and whatever you have, that is also belongs to him. So all the beings are his children. So just as in a family, if the elderly persons enjoy everything without giving a share to the youngsters, how one feels. Whatever is there in the family, all the family members should enjoy it. Similarly, the whole universe is one family, and all the beings are the children of the Creator. So, whatever you have, it is the family property. It is not yours. So, you have to share it with others and don't occupy, don't dominate over the others' shares, or else you will occur sin. That's how, on this basis, only Gurudev used to say always, serve, love, give. Giving is our backbone. If you give, you will get. This is what we learn from sacrifice. When you give something to others, naturally you get it back. Every action has a reaction. So giving is an action also. And if you give, you are bound to get it. If you don't give, your transaction ends there. So you are not getting anything. How long you will enjoy whatever you have got? So giving is a must, sharing with others is a must. That is the central point of service to others, love to others, and sharing with others. Thereby you grow, you never decay. That is the secret of actions. Istan bhogan hivo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha. The gods nourished by the sacrifice will give you the desired objects. So, he who enjoys the objects given by the gods without offering them in return, he is verily a thief. So one should not be miser in sharing whatever he has with others. When the gods are pleased with your sacrifices, they will bestow on you all the desired objects such as children, cattle, property, etc. He who enjoys that has been given to him by the gods, that is, he who gratifies the cravings of his own body and the senses without offering anything to the gods in return, is a very veritable thief. he is really a dacoit or the property of the gods, dacoit of the property of gods. They have given you to get it back. You have stopped the connectivity. We are discussing all these to know how to act, or else we will not progress in our life. Our progress will be hampered. Yajñāsishtāsinah santo muchyante sarvakel visaihi bhujante te tvaham papa ye pacantyatmakaranat. If you cook for yourself only, you are said to be a thief. The householder, as per our spiritual code of conduct, one should not cook for himself. Never he should. Whenever you cook something, so many others are dependent on you, so you have to see their rights. You have to give some portions of your food to many others. And if you cook for yourself only, you are a selfish person, and thereby you occur sins only. The righteous who eat the remnants of the sacrifice are freed from all sins. Means after conducting the sacrifice, when you take the remnant of the sacrifice for yourself, then you are a better person. You will get real happiness because you have offered others shares. You are not a culprit. And on the other hand, but those sinful ones who cook food for their own sake verily eat sin only. Those who after performing the 5 great sacrifices, we have discussed it, Panchajagya. Panchajagya one has to do every day. Because knowingly or unknowingly, forcibly, we have to do some sins. At the fireplace, when you set fire, means burn fire for cooking, naturally many subtler beings, many insects and others, they are killed by the fire. So you occur sin. In the water place where we keep water for our use, there are some insects and others, they are killed. And in many other, you see, ways, we occur sins. We are bound to occur those sins to lead our life. So one should do Panchajagya every day to get rid of these 5 kinds of sins. What are they? 5 great sacrifices. Eat the remnants of the food, are freed from all the sins committed by these 5 agents of insect slaughter, that is the pestle of mortar, the grinding stone. We have to grind wheat and other things for our making flour and for our food. So there also some insects are killed, grinding stones, and the fireplace. There also we occur seen the place where the water pot is kept, and the fifth is broom. When we sweep clean the rooms, we kill so many insects. So in this way, we occur 5 kinds of sins every day. These are the 5 places where injury to life is daily committed. The sins are washed away by the performance of the 5 Mahayajnas or great sacrifices which every Dvija, twice born. Dvija are called who is born twice. For example, Brahmin is called a Dvija. Dvija means one who is born twice. First of all, the child is born out of the womb of the mother, first birth, and then when he gets his threads, yes, spiritual threads, that is called the second birth. So in this way, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they are called Dvija, twice born. And they are bound to, they are supposed to do all these 5 yajnas every day. Twice born are the people belonging to the first 3 castes in Hindu society, especially the Brahmin, or to perform these 5 sacrifices. Deva Yajna, offering sacrifices to the gods which will satisfy them, giving something in the fire. You must have seen, after cooking, the householders put something in the fire so that it is offered to the gods. Brahma Yajna or Rishi Yajna, teaching and reciting these scriptures which will satisfy Brahman and the Rishis. Pitri Yajna, offering libations of water to one's ancestors which will satisfy the means. Nri Yajna, the feeding of the hungry and the guests. You see, the dogs, the cats, or all many other birds and some other hungry beings, they depend upon the householders. So you must offer something to them. Nri Yajna. And Bhatta Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, the feeding of the subhuman species such as animals, birds, etc. In this way, one should perform 5 kinds of yajnas every day to get rid of our sins done forcibly or unknowingly. then only one is free from sins and he will prosper in his life. And in this way, performing all these 5 kinds of yajnas, one should lead a happy life. And then also the Creator reminds the human beings and the gods about the sacrifice. Annata bhavanti bhutani. The whole world is dependent on anna, the food. Food is nothing but energy, supplier of energy. And we know one energy is transferred to the other energy. The other energy again transferred to the other energy. In this way, the whole world is play of energy. Without energy, nothing can be done. Energy gives us strength to act. And anna is not only our rice or bread, but anything can be taken as anna, which supplies you the energy. So in this way, it is said the whole world is only created as food. Anna vai Brahma. Anything and everything is a food to the other. One is food to the other is food to the other. In this way, the play of energy go on. So the whole universe is created as food. Yes.
So logically, can we understand, Swamiji, this food what we eat, it is the food for the prana?
Yes, exactly. What food we get, we eat, it becomes another energy, that is prana. Prana becomes another energy, that is mind. And mind also gives the energy to the senses to act. In this way, the cycle of energy goes on. Everywhere, the cycle. Our breath, what we exhale, carbon dioxide, it becomes a food to the trees. They flourish and they give oxygen to you. You are getting the food from the trees in the form of oxygen, in the form of fruits, and the leaves are food for other beings. The cows or the deer or other beings, they live upon the leaves or grass. In this way, one becomes food for the others. When our body perishes, it becomes a food, it decomposes, it becomes a food to the germs. They flourish. In this way, the whole world is created as a food. Food means energy. And the world is nothing but the play of energy. The energy goes on changing and the actions are performed by the help of energy. Just as our economic society, if you see, the money goes on from one hand to the other hand, but it does the action. It becomes a means to do some actions. In this way, money does nothing, but when it goes on changing from hand to hand, the action is done. So money should go on in cycle. Then only the country prosper. So in this way, the anna is a source of energy, and yajnat bhavati annat bhavanti bhutani. All these beings are dependent on food. From food come forth beings. From rain, food is produced. Without rain, without water, no plant life can survive. So, water is a must, and from water only all these plant life grow. So from rain, food is produced, we get the fruits and other things from the plants. From rain, food is produced. From sacrifice arise rain, and sacrifice is born of action. In this way, action is related to all these. It is related to our lives and yajna and food, everything. This is the cycle. Annat bhavanti bhutani. From the food, the general ordinary beings, they get energy. They are produced because of food only. And parjanyat anna sambhava, and this food is grown out of rain water only. And jagyat bhavati parjanya, and without sacrifice there is no possibility of rain. Yajna karma samudbhava. Without action there cannot be any sacrifice. So your action is related to your life in this way. So sacrifice is a must. Action is a must. You cannot live without doing anything for a moment. So you must know how to do the action. It should be sacrifice, and it should be for others, and it should be a purificatory process, and your actions should be done without the attachment, without the desire for the results. So here yajna means apurva, or the subtle principle, or the unseen form which a sacrifice assumes between the time of its performance and the time when its fruits manifest themselves. Apurva. Yajna is told as apurva, means unseen. Our action in the form of sacrifice, it in the course of time, it becomes food and all other the necessary objects for our life. So one should always perform yajna. So tomorrow we shall see karma brahmodbhavam vidhi. Where from this action starts? Karma. Karma pradhana vishwakari rakha. Jo jasa karaita safal chakha. In Ramayana also, the great saint Tulsidas says, just as a garland is tied up by the thread is connectivity between all these flowers. The flowers remain in a garland because of the thread inside it. The thread is unseen, but the flowers are seen. Sutre maniganaiva, just as the chain, the what you call mala, the garland of pearls or other things, there is a string inside. It connects all those beads. In that way, action is the connecting rod between all the beings of the universe. Karma is the inner thread. It connects all the beings with each other. So you are bound to perform actions, but you must know how to perform your actions so that you can lead a successful life and you get the highest. This we shall see tomorrow. The cycle of the nature, how everything goes in a cycle. Where from karma starts, how the karma started. Of course, we have seen how the yajna started when the creatures are created by the Creator. At that time, this mediocre yajna was created by him, and it becomes the mediocre between the connecting rod between the beings. And now how the karma becomes the connecting rod. Tomorrow we shall see. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om.